1, 0. All engine running.
Okay, so as you may have just heard, a hold was called on the countdown net, so we're going to stand by for another update to see what the issue the teams may be working is. We'll provide that update as soon as we have it, but again, the count has entered a hold.
We do have an update for you. We are still holding to complete final LOX conditioning, and so once that is complete, we will likely get a new T0 time shortly from Mission Control for you.
Yeah, we'll keep the updates coming again as soon as we have them, everyone. Holding at T-minus 31 seconds, expecting a recycle for a new T0 shortly. Also, in the meantime, while we wait for that recycle, we'll go ahead and take some more questions. First off, I'll just start with one off the screen. Know that cruise ship is not violating the range right now. That ship in the background is not within the protected launch corridor. It's beyond where the rocket plane trajectory is, so no worries there. But feel the need to adjust that since it's on screen. But otherwise, we've got some other questions to come in while we wait for this hold to clear. So let's start with this one here. Scribs asks, what kind of material is the vehicle made out of? Amanda?
Yeah, so a lot of our first stage structure is made out of aluminum. We try not to have any exotic materials on the vehicle that are difficult to obtain or hard to machine. That really helps to ensure that the vehicle is scaled for manufacturability.
Gotcha. Another question from Sergeant Scott is, how tall is the rocket and is it heading to orbit today?
So the vehicle is 43 feet in length, so it is able to fit into a standard 45-foot shipping container, which makes it very easy for portability to our various space ports. And our launch attempt today is countdown will be resuming soon. And so once that happens, our targeted orbit for this mission is to deliver the Tropics 1 payloads to the 550-kilometer orbit at, again, that 29.75 orbital inclination relative to the equator.
Gotcha. Yeah, so on the screen here, we can actually see that graphic of the planned launch trajectory. It's pretty much due east out of Cape Canaveral within that kind of safety corridor. And then if we go back to that camera that showed the cruise ship, that's looking south, actually towards Port Canaveral. For those of you that live or have been around the Canaveral area may know what I'm talking about. That is south, whereas the rocket will be flying kind of left out of frame from this view to the east. So again, just reiterating that the cruise ship is not anywhere it's not supposed to be and is not a problem for today's flight. The current hold is to complete final liquid oxygen conditioning on the vehicle. So waiting for a new T0 regarding that as well. But in the meantime, more questions. We do have a funny question here. Musical Wolves, a regular in the chat, who says, are the mysterious 4 towers portable for Astra, since the rocket and ground equipment are portable? I don't think the lightning protection towers are some of the things that Astra ships out, right?
Those are not. That is part of the permanent infrastructure at the Space Launch Complex.
Gotcha. Always got to ask about the towers, though. It's a rule around here. We do have a quick question here from Dag, who asks, when does the launch window close? Today's launch window extends until 2 p.m. Eastern Time, or 1800 UTC. So we're still pretty early in the launch window, and hoping for a quick recycle and a new T0 here shortly. While we wait for another update on this hold, again, hoping that it'll clear soon, but we're going to go ahead and take a break and wait for another update. We'll provide that as soon as we have it. Okay, so you can see we're still holding here. We're waiting for this hold to be resolved. But Amanda, I do believe we have an update regarding the weather for today's attempt.
Yeah, so we have recently heard from the range that we are good for another 20 minutes. After then, the weather will become too difficult for us to be able to likely proceed with today's launch.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that, but it looks like we've got at least another 20 minutes to go. So hopefully, if this recycle can occur a little bit quickly, we should still have another chance to launch today. So again, keeping an eye on that, and we'll provide more updates as we have them as they continue to work this LOX conditioning issue. In the meantime, I think the audio cut out earlier, so I want to ask this question again. Earlier, we had that hold at T-minus 15 minutes. Do you want to talk a little bit about why that was the hold point?
Right. Yeah. So the T-minus 15 mark is when we enter our terminal count, and that is a really important milestone. That's when we can start to transfer the control over to the vehicle. It's also where we would likely revert back to in case of a recycle. And another key milestone is at approximately 10 minutes from liftoff, where we perform the go pull for launch and tank pressurization. And then at 6 minutes is when the range provides the authorization to launch.
Gotcha. So while we're waiting for this hold, if you are just joining us, this is the live coverage of the Tropics 1 mission on Astra's LV0010 vehicle. Amanda, do you want to just give a brief overview for the new people that may just be tuning in about what today's mission is all about?
Right. Yeah. So this mission marks, again, our second mission with NASA. And we are launching, it's the first of 3 launches to deliver the NASA Tropics satellites to low Earth orbit. And so the objective for today is to deliver the 2 identical CubeSats to an orbit of 550 kilometers at a 29.75 degree inclination. These payloads are about 3U in size, so they are fairly small. And the payloads are used to monitor the weather of incoming storms. And so the imagery will actually penetrate into a storm cloud layer and be able to provide precipitation, temperature, and humidity data measurements for scientists and meteorologists to help understand how storms form, grow, and intensify throughout their life cycle. And then we do have a great is provided for us. You can find that with a more overview of the satellites themselves. You can find that at astra.com/mission/tropics-1.
All right. And while we wait again for more mission updates, we have a couple more questions coming into the chat here, so we'll go ahead. We got one asking about the spaceports that Astra operates out of. Of course, this is Cape Canaveral, not the first time Astra has launched from here. Astra has also launched from Kodiak in the past. Can you talk a little bit about the differences in those spaceports and where else Astra might begin launching from?
Yeah, so the 2 main spaceports that we launch out of right now are Kodiak, Alaska, and Cape Canaveral. So Kodiak is beneficial because it is a commercial launch site for both orbital and suborbital vehicles. And then we did actually recently announce a partnership in May with Saxavord and UK Spaceport. You can learn more about that partnership at astra.com and also our video recording from our Space Tech Day. So we're very excited about this partnership as it would expand our capacity to reach key inclinations.
Gotcha. And speaking of other locations regarding Astra, where was this rocket built?
This rocket was built right here at our headquarter factory in Alameda, California.
And shipped via road all the way to Florida, right?
Yep, this one rolled via truck.
I believe we actually have a video of that arrival if we can show that. This is the video of the rocket being shipped out to Florida for today's launch. So again, that's how the rocket got here, and of course there was a static fire test prior to the launch attempt, and today's launch attempt is currently in a hold. We're waiting for another update on this LOX conditioning issue. Once that hold clears, there'll be a recycle point and a new T0. So once we get a little bit more information and an update on that, we'll go ahead and come back, but let's go ahead and take a break, and we will come back to you with more information as soon as we have it. Again, stick with us.